So you know what 1 plus 2 equals? 3! The sad part is I've been thinking about that intro for a while. The OnePlus 3 is coming, and it's probably coming towards the end of this month, which is May 2016. We're already starting to know a lot about it. We've seen pictures leak on Phone Arena, on Weibo, and on Twitter, so you have a pretty good sense of what the OnePlus 3 is going to be. And what it's going to be looks pretty badass. So here's what you can expect from the OnePlus 3, and maybe it might make you hold off for a few weeks to get your next phone. So it looks like OnePlus is going to stick with their two-phone scheme. The OnePlus X and the OnePlus 2 last generation. We don't know if we're going to have two different versions of the OnePlus 3, or maybe the OnePlus X squared and the OnePlus 3, but regardless, we're going to have two phones that look both to be pretty sweet. The lower spec model, which supposedly is going to retail for around $300, it's going to have 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage, which will be expandable via micro SD. The larger, more expensive one should retail for about $380. It's going to have just an unnecessary 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. Both those should have the same 5.5-inch 1080p Super AMOLED screen. So you've been screaming for a 2K screen, might be a little bit disappointed, but Super AMOLED really gives a nice picture, and OnePlus has said in the past, he chose a low resolution screen to keep the price down, so you gotta make a sacrifice somewhere. But with that lower res screen, you should get crazy battery life. They're upping the battery life this generation about 200 milliamp hours, so we should have a 3,500 milliamp hour battery on board as well. The OnePlus 3 or OnePlus 3s will not be skimping the processor department either. They could easily have saved some money and gone for a Snapdragon 810, but they said no. Snapdragon 820 will be on board here as well. Also going to be on the phone is a camera hump. Before you get all upset, camera hump is going to be hiding a 16 megapixel shooter, and its friend on the front will be an 8 megapixel shooter, so you should get really solid pictures from both sensors. We're holding out hope though. It's going to be based on Android 7.0, and you might be a little disappointed. It's going to be Oxygen OS 3.0, which is going to be based on Marshmallow. It's almost stock Android with a few really nice additions. And fixing one of the most glaring and frustrating omissions with the OnePlus 2, NFC will be making a comeback. They listened, they learned, and I have no idea why it wasn't in there in the last generation. OnePlus is ditching their classic sandstone back. It looks like they're going to go for an HTC-inspired all-metal design. It should also have a fingerprint sensor on the front for unlocking and for paying for things. All this, though, we should know for sure in just a few short weeks. So what do you guys think about the OnePlus 3? $380, less than $400 is going to get you a Snapdragon 820, 6 gigs of RAM, a beastly battery, what looks like a pretty killer camera. I'm hoping it's a Sony sensor inside. It looks like it's going to be a really good deal. It's going to give the Nexus devices, and I think whatever Motorola comes out with next for the Moto X, a run for its money. I'll take your thoughts on it. Leave the comments down below. Thumbs up if you're excited for a new phone from Android, or just thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. We always appreciate it. Until next time, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. Talk to you guys in the next video.